Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi is calling on the opposition to stop playing politics and support the amendments to 3 important pieces of legislation in the Parliament. He says the passage of the bills is important to prevent this country from becoming blacklisted by the U.S.
Being blamed for not supporting and therefore stalling very important bills that the government needs to have passed. One of them is the Income Tax Amendment Bill that's currently before Parliament. Failure to pass these bills would mean Trinidad and Tobago being blacklisted and therefore would hinder its ability to do business with the United States or its affiliates.
This affects everybody in Trinidad and Tobago. Every person that has a child at school that has to pay foreign fees will understand this. People who are on scholarship and the government of Trinidad and Tobago is paying for them, they will be affected. The purchase of medicine, the purchase of agricultural food and produce, the purchase of every single business item in Trinidad and Tobago will be affected if this legislation collapses.
Mr. Al-Rawi says it was the UNC who, while in government, committed this country back in 2015 to begin tax exchange from 2017 as requested by the Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act or FATCA, but the necessary measures were not put in place for that to take place. He says the opposition had the amendments for the income tax law for several months to review, but now they are trying to stall their support for it.
To operationalize the Global Forum, 13 agreements had to be negotiated for exchange of information. In other words then, 13 versions of FATCA had to be done. The UNC did none. The Minister of Finance, as the lead authority, in the period 2016 to 2017, got the Global Forum to agree to put us on fast track and so that we could sign a multilateral convention.
Minister in the Ministry of the Attorney General, Fitzgerald Hines, chided the opposition for their conduct.
They're certainly not acting in the public interest because, as you would have heard the Attorney General explain a while ago, all of these measures are agreed by 154 members of the Global Forum, 193 members of the FATF.
Mr. Al-Rawi says Iran and North Korea have already been blacklisted and the same could happen to this country. Ian Wason, TTT News.
Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi says the party financing legislation will be coming soon to the Parliament. The San Fernando West MP was speaking during a media conference at his office today.
Campaign finance reform is on its second draft right now. I intend to bring forward that legislation very shortly. Remember, we stand on our own on that platform. The opposition has no desire to treat with it. In opposition, we made that commitment, and in fact, we have an expert team right now perfecting that law, and that is something that is going to come to the Parliament very shortly.